Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Nail Gun Nelly, and today we are coming out with another episode of Tools 101. This is a tool that I have gotten so many requests to go over, and you guys see me use it all the time and refer to it as, what is that blue tool that you make those tools with? Well, on today's episode, we are going to go over all of the basics of a tool that you guys have asked me to show a million different times. And I finally upgraded to the newest one. Thanks to my friends at Kreg who are sponsoring this YouTube video, I'm going to show you all about how to use the 720 Pro and all the really cool features that have made it even easier to get this job done. This is the newest model that Kreg has released. There are a lot of upgraded features with this one compared to the one you guys usually see me use, which is the K5. Without further ado, let's go over all of these basics and get you comfortable with a pocket hole system. Okay, we are zooming in to be able to look. This is the normal K5 Kreg Jig. I bought this back in 2019, so I have gotten really good use out of this tool. There are many features of the newest model that I have been itching to get my hands on, so I'm really excited that I got to upgrade. A few steps that I had to take with this jig was moving this up and down. Not that difficult, but it was an extra step. If I had different material thicknesses I was trying to make pocket holes with, it had the gauge on the side. And I also had to adjust the clamp for the thickness of my wood. So I would have to move it in or out manually. Those are two features that I no longer am gonna have to do with this newest jig that we're gonna talk about. One other one is I used to have to use this with the K5, and that was something that allowed you to figure out, oops, sorry, backwards. Once you have this set to the correct height, you had to put your drill in to be able to figure out how, where to put the stopcock. I'm not gonna go over all of this in detail because if you buy a pocket hole system now, you're not gonna buy this. You're gonna buy the newest one that we're gonna go over right now. Okay, so this is, I'm gonna actually take these off for now. So if you decide that you are only gonna get just the pocket hole jig, this is the 720. When you get the 720 Pro, it comes with the ability to attach these two side wings, and you get these storage compartments that we'll talk about in a second. And one of them contains like a clamp and a couple different accessories that can make your job way easier. There's a few features about this that is like way better than the prior one that I had. So you're gonna notice that it looks a lot different. And it does because it is able to make the pocket holes on different orientations. So say I have a smaller board that I can easily just put in through the top. I can place it there, use the Auto Max auto lock, clamp it, and ready to drill my holes. But say I have a piece of plywood or something that I don't want to have to put in this way. We'll use this board, for example. I also can lay it down like this and slide in my bigger pieces and clamp it together, same way, and then drill my holes at this angle. So it can be done either way. So this is their Auto Max clamp. So this is really awesome because no longer do I have to adjust where this compartment is. I just automatically push it down no matter the thickness of my board. And so I could put a 1x or a 2x in here, and it's automatically gonna know how and where to stop. If you feel like this is too difficult to close, it has on the side this little knob, and basically you turn it to the left, you turn it towards the minus in order to decrease the amount of pressure. But if you feel like your wood is kind of wiggling around in there, you need more pressure, you can turn it this way, and that will tighten the amount of pressure that it has. So if you need to make any adjustments at all to the Auto Max clamping, it's just gonna be to either increase or decrease the amount of pressure in order to hold your wood in place, and that is all done from this knob right here. So that is by far one of the best features that they came out with, is the auto adjustment that it does. It's like I can go between 1x2s and 2x4s and I don't have to make any adjustments to this part of the Kreg jig. It automatically will just adjust to where it needs to be for my pocket holes to be perfect. So another really cool thing that they came out with was how you store everything in this back area. So no more searching for the correct drill bit or all of your tools, they're right here. And when you buy the 720, you get the drill, the stopcock, this little blue tool, and then you get not only the 6-inch drill bit, but you also get a 3-inch. Because in order to get these two drill bits out, you just push down and it releases. So in order to get them back in, push down and it pops in. So it's not too difficult. So let's go over what you do with your drill bit. You will need both that and this little tool. And this is pretty much the only thing that you're gonna have to make the adjustments for, but they made it really easy. So this is your drill bit, and it is a special one just for the pocket hole system, because you can see down at the end, it has a longer tip, and that's to create the hole for the pocket hole, or for the screw that goes in the pocket hole. You can see right up here, there are little circles, and they say 1.5, 3/4, and 1/2 inch. And that is because those are your most commonly used sized wood that you're gonna be using for pocket holes. So anytime you're using a 1x, you're gonna have it at 3/4 inch. Anytime you're using a 2x, like a 2x4, you're gonna have it at 1.5 inch. Those are the common ones. And so that's why they have them marked. And so what you do is, say you're gonna get 1x2 and you need to make pocket holes to make a face frame or something. So the actual depth of a 1x is 3/4 inch. So if I wanted to be able to make pocket holes in a 3/4 inch, I'm gonna take this stopcock that comes with this package, and there's a little circle you can see on one side. You slide it over, and you're gonna want to see 3/4 inch in the little circle. Once you have it there, you are going to take your little blue tool, and it's like a little Allen wrench. You basically just tighten the stopcock, and now this isn't going anywhere. This stopcock is in place. And just verify that you see the 3/4, because sometimes it can move around. And so that is, say we put this 1x2 in place. I'm gonna put it in. I'm not gonna actually drill yet, but basically you're gonna have this attached to your drill, and you're gonna go down, and this is gonna be stopped right here. I actually will do it. Let's just screw it. So it won't let me go any farther than that, because this metal stopcock is stopped by this plate. So once you're there, you just back. Dude, I'll just do it both. And then you pull it out, and it's perfect pocket holes. It's as easy as that. The only adjustment you do need to make is on this drill bit. So if I'm doing my 1x2s, I have my drill set to this. Say I need to put a pocket hole into a 2x4, which is the same depth. It's a 2x. This is a 2x6 though. I will put my wood in there, clamp it down the same way. The only difference is I need to adjust where my stopcock is. So just loosen it and add it to the put it to the 1.5. Tighten it. And the reason I did 1.5 is because that is what a actual 2x4 depth is. It's 1.5 inches. So you put it there and do the same exact drilling. And you will see it is a perfect pocket hole. Okay, so one other thing that I didn't do is, it's because I'm a mess, but it is really nice. I have my shop vac down at the back of the property, so I didn't go get it. But you can see, this is a good example, when you make your pocket holes, this is where all of the sawdust comes out. But if you want to keep a clean work area, which I need to work on, I'm gonna pour this all out because that's just from 3 pocket holes. It comes with this vacuum looking attachment. And so what's really cool is this slides right in to this space. And if you have something that fits directly on this, you can just attach that. But it also has this really cool attachment that clicks on right there. And this attaches to any standard shop vac. And so you can just pop your shop vac on, make all your cuts, and it collects all of the sawdust, keeps it mess-free in your work area. Super nice, because the old Kreg jig had this, this little vacuum thing right at the back of this lever, and it always would get in the way, so I never used it. But with this one, I'm absolutely gonna use it. Another cool feature they added is on this area, there's a grip. So when your wood is in here, it really stabilizes a lot more, and you can really clamp it down. And because it's like a rubbery surface, it doesn't leave marks on the side of your wood. So that's most of these features. The other thing I wanted to show you was, if you ended up getting the 720 Pro, which I recommend because it does come with all the extras, you get these 2 side docking stations. So like I was saying, one of them is going to come with all of these neat little extras, and the other one does come empty, but it gives you extra storage if you want to keep some screws on hand. Like I'll end up storing some screws, and these are the 2 sizes that I use all the time, because 1/4 inch is for 3/4 inch wood, and then 2.5 is for your standard 2x4s. But what these do is it comes with these 2 side wings. You just pop them on the bottom, and then you can see they have these little attachments, and you just pop them on there and there. The way you know that you did it correctly is these 2 hooks are facing the back of this. When you have them down, if you have a longer board you're creating pocket holes in, even longer than this, it is super flush and keeps this level, so you don't accidentally do your pocket holes, you know, kind of cattywampus. Is that still a word? Cattywampus? So it keeps it very level, and then you can clamp it and ensure that your pocket holes are going to be straight. But for easy storage, it holds up like this, and then this is the reason you want to make sure that these, when you install them, are on the back. And then it's ready to go. Everything you need is going to be stored in this nice and neat. And the old pocket jig, the wings, they had to just insert in and out. They didn't flop up like this. And I love how compact it is if you have a job that you're going to do at somebody else's house. Everything is in this. Another feature that they have, so it has this pocket hole stop block. It comes like this. And so basically you take this piece, there's a little square piece. I mean, you can figure it out. It's like making Legos. A square nut. Pop that hole in there, or square in there. And then just put your finger here, and this knob, you just screw it in. But you're holding the square one so it doesn't come out. Don't tighten it all the way. Just get it so it's on there. Because then you take this little wing and put this on there. And what you're gonna be able to do with this, it attaches on the accessory, side accessory, to these lines. And you can move it up and down wherever you like. And the reason this is nice is so you have something where you want to make repeated pocket holes at the same placement. So you can basically set this, if this is where you think that your pocket hole needs to go and you want to be able to repeat it, wherever you think that is, get it where it's at, tighten it, and that's why you don't tighten it at the beginning. So now this thing isn't moving. And now I can come in, if I have 10 1x2s that I need a pocket hole in the exact same spot, I come in, put my wood, push it up against the stop block, tighten the Auto Max drill my pocket hole, take it out, bring another piece, and it's gonna do the exact same pocket hole at the same location on each wood based on wherever I put this. If you need to put it, say, on this side, it easily just screws off, pull it off, put it over here, and you can slide it wherever you want, stop it, and then tighten it. And there's a little lock and unlock button on it so you know which way you need to go. So the last thing that comes with the docking station is this clamp. So there are two different ways that you can attach the Kreg jig. If you're not somebody that takes it around, I am somebody that takes it around a lot. But if you have a station where you want your pocket hole system, it comes with this clamp to clamp it to your work surface. So there's two different places. The first is if you want to keep it in this orientation. You have an area right here that this comes into, and like that. And then you can see I have a lot of room to open it, and it can clamp easily to the side of a workbench. If you would prefer it to be in this orientation, you can also attach it right there, and basically it gives you all this room in order to clamp it to your work surface like so. So with the docking station, you do get all of these side little features. But if you just purchase the 720, the only difference is it doesn't come with these features. But if you decide that maybe after watching this video, these would be really helpful, you can purchase this separate and it'll work just fine. And if you didn't purchase these, they do have these two side wings that do come out so that it will still help stabilize longer pieces of wood. Okay, one last thing is that you can use a 1x2, for example, is not actually a 1x2. The thickness is not 1 inch, it's 3/4 inches. I don't know the exact reason why they do that. Maybe something to do with how they cut. I have no idea. But really, 1x2s are 3/4 inch deep. I know that any 1x2 is that. If you did not, this is a cool little tool that you hold up like that, and you can see that it lands in the 3/4 inch area. It lands in the 1.5 inch because any 2x4 or anything like that is actually 1.5 inches deep. So you can see this is standard. So here's a scrap piece of wood. It is much thinner. It have a lot of wood that is not standard measurement. So if I hold this up, you're gonna see that it's not quite 3/4 of an inch. Whoop. It's right at the 1/2 inch mark. So I can gauge my drill bit to go to the 1/2 inch mark. So basically wherever your wood lands in the closest one is where you're gonna put your stop block. So what do we do after we drill our pocket holes? We've drilled the pocket holes. One thing that I did love from my K5, and I will be taping into this one, is it had this really awesome screw length selection chart. If I had a 1/2 inch piece of wood, my screw would need to be 1 inch. And so basically it says for each type, what length of screw to use. The most common is a 1x, and when using 1x's, you use 1.25 inch. The Kreg screws are different than normal screws. So you will see they all have square tips, and they are built to sit perfectly within the pocket hole. You can see there's a little flat spot and then a little hole. So you want your screw to go into that. So I put it in place just so that when I'm actually going to set them with my other wood, it's easier to get my bit in. Whenever I do 2 joints, I'm always gonna put wood glue. Don't ever underestimate the power of wood glue. It's gonna help make this even better. And then I would clamp this together just to keep it in place. This is the only other tool you're gonna need is an impact driver. Or, I mean, you can use a drill, but I love my impact driver. So with both of these, it is just pop them in and then switch to this. They're all hex heads, so they fit right into a driver. I would normally clamp this, but I just want to be able to show you. You drive it in. Just the same as any other screw. And you can see that the screw, this is obviously not done very well, but if I had it clamped, it would be a flush joint, and you can see the screws just sit right inside the pocket hole once screwed in. For this side, there's no screws. You will see on the actual jig, there are lines. I just like to eyeball it, but if you see, there's two close together, and then there's a third one out here. So if you're doing a smaller piece of wood like this, you always want to put two pocket holes on one side, because just like anything, if there's only one screw, it can twist, but if you have two, it can't go anywhere. Like say I needed to join this side of a piece of wood to another, I would not just put two. I would space them out probably about every 6 inches. On this, I would probably put 3. So you can kind of judge how many pocket holes you need, but you definitely don't need two. Just as long as it's about every 6 inches, I think that that's fine. On the edge here, I would probably still only do 2. You could, depending on what you're assembling, put 3. It doesn't matter which hole you use. They just have them separated like this for ease of, a smaller piece of wood is going to need these two put together, and then like a 2x4 would use the 2 outer ones. But you can kind of use your judgment on what hole you use. They're all the same size. I think we covered all of the basics, and I hope you feel comfortable enough to get a pocket hole jig and start taking your woodworking to the next level. Like always, I would love if you subscribe to my channel, hit that bell for notifications, like this video, leave any questions you may have in the comments below, and I'll be sure to answer all of them. I want to thank my friends at Kreg for sponsoring this video, and I hope that I was able to bring you a little more knowledge when it comes to using the pocket hole jig to take your woodworking to the next level. Like always, I come out with new YouTubes every Monday morning at 9 a.m. If there's a tool you want to see featured in my next Tools 101, leave it in the comments below, and I'll be sure to make a video to make it easier for you to get comfortable in your garage. I'm Nail Gun Nelly, and I hope you keep nailing your projects. See you next time.